Mary Moore, F21053, and this is a showcase. Hi, my name is Mary Moore, and this showcase is called Climate SOS, a thematic approach to energy education using SEAI resources. I'm a teacher here at Clarehan National School, and it is my great pleasure to share with you, alongside our colleagues Anne-Marie Murphy and Fiona Hart, our experiences in using this book in a whole school approach. Climate SOS is the latest resource from the Sustainable Energy Authority of Ireland, and it builds on their previous resources. It is written by Lucinda Jacob, illustrated by Alan Nolan, and edited by Dr. Orla Kelly. It is about 4 primary school children who use their talents to take on Mac's siphon and stop his wasteful ways. We will share with you in this showcase how we use this book to engage our pupils in meaningful ESD, how we engaged a cross-curricular approach, how all classes were involved, and how we connected with the external school community.
In 1987, Rutland introduced the idea of sustainable development and defined it as development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. In July 2014, the Department of Education published its first National Strategy on Education for Sustainable Development. This strategy aims to equip learners with the knowledge, which is the what, the skills, the how, and the attitudes, the why, to enable them to take action for future generations. This is where the idea of action competence is introduced. Action competence combines these 3 components and enables the learner to take action. The Climate SOS book uses 4 different characters to show that there is more than one way that you can take action. Each character has different interests, and we will now hear from 4th class who discuss their favourite character and why they chose that particular character. These clips show the importance of being able to relate to a character with interests similar to yourself, and again links back in with the theory of action competence that I already mentioned.
My favourite character is Jack because I like nature and planting trees, but I also think that Orla is very important because it's important to teach other people about climate change.
My favourite character is Jack because I love animals. My favourite character is Katerina because she likes making things and I like making things too.
My favourite character is Jack because I like farming and I like insects, and I think it's important to plant more flowers for the bees because biodiversity matters.
My favourite character is Jack too because I like nature. Nature is important, but climate change is destroying it, so I think we have to understand nature before we stop climate change.
The next area we'd like to share with you is thematic planning. So this year we had wanted to focus on energy across the school, but by taking the book Climate SOS as our theme rather than energy, it allowed us to engage in a much broader and deeper thematic approach. So first of all, we will take a look at the primary language curriculum. As our focus was a book, all 3 elements, reading, writing and oral language, were covered. Tá like an Gaeilge na fáil freisin, so pupils can engage with the Irish language version when they've developed a familiarity with the English version. One key aspect of the new PLC is that of critical literacy, and there was good opportunity provided by this book to engage in critical thinking. So here we have Gosler explaining to Sparky that he thought it was a good idea to divert energy to the carbon Lux mansion. So this provided opportunity for the pupils to discuss the importance of good information, of checking their sources, and also the issue of bias. This was a really important quote in the book. Why bother? We're only a small place in a small country. And this really got the children to question the notion of individual versus collective action, and also where the responsibility for sustainability actually lies. Here are just some examples of how our pupils engaged with literacy across the school. First, we have 5th class, who presented their research to their classmates on Google Slides. Here is second class, using the iPads to research ways to conserve energy. And here we have some informative writing samples from our pupils in first class.
STEM and SESE often provide a gateway into sustainability for many teachers. The SEAI have a lovely website where you can link or integrate maths into sustainability. Here we have a screenshot of our energy consumption in our school. These figures are released annually. This is the amount of carbon dioxide that is released by our school, and as you can see, this statistic is presented in a child-friendly way. It tells us that our carbon dioxide emissions would take 58 trees to be absorbed. Here we have first class who were investigating insulation. We also looked at the topic of heat during this activity. Here we have fourth class who were doing a design and make activity. In SESE, we linked in with the local energy communities and had a webinar with the Tipperary Energy Agency. We also located the wind farms all across Ireland using the Irish Wind Association website. And finally, we looked at the history of the ESB using their website. Here are fourth class with their SESE projects. Each group chose a sustainable energy topic to research. Here are some more SESE projects. This time they're from fifth class.
The book also offered a wonderful opportunity to integrate the arts and play. So within the visual arts, we worked with the Illustrators Workshop. So Alan Nolan provided a workshop for the children, and almost every class in our school worked on this. We found that it was very teacher and user friendly. The links were provided for the video, and indeed there was also a comic strip fun sheet which the children could download as well. We found the video to be engaging through his wonderful sense of humour. He was animated in his description, which was clear and well-paced for the children. There was also a good revision of the characters, and the children had great fun drawing Sparky and Guzzler. He's evident in all the hallways in the school. In drama, the children worked in groups to create freeze frames from various sections of the book. We found this was quite easy for the children as the chapters are quite concise, so it allowed them to work on it independently. The chapters were discussed and the children set about depicting the important message in their groups. It was a great talking point which set the scene for discussions and how best to create the importance of immediate action. Within music, the children worked in groups using percussion instruments to create pieces to accompany scenes from their freeze frames. They had fun exploring the elements of music such as pulse, tempo, pitch, duration and texture. And at infant level, we found it a wonderful way of using play to allow the children to show what they had learned from the book. So we spoke about the importance of sustainability and the use of renewable sources of energy. Children created buildings which contained solar panels, wind turbines and water harvesting stations. Some included electric cars. There was great fun in the classroom that day. Following on from our discussion on renewable energy sources, the children created various devices, including a lightning harvesting machine, a car which trapped energy to drive, a floating device whereby two wheels would crash together by wave power and this would create energy, and a robot energy sucker which gathered up any energy which was not used efficiently. I must say it was great to see the children starting to think about energy usage and what we can do and how we can be involved in sustainability. Here we can see second class doing their illustrations. Here we have fourth class working on their drama and music. Here we can see our lightning harvesting machine. And here we have some windmills that the children made also. So getting is a very important aspect of this project for us all. Every class in the school has been involved at some level, and although this book is aimed at a 3rd or 4th class level, we found that it was quite accessible to every level once those little adaptations were made. Every class in the whole school was involved in this project, including our 2 special classes. To tie the work together and to ensure that the whole school knew that we had worked together and how well it all went, the images from the work completed in each class were collated and celebrated in our June assembly by our principal.
So walking through the corridors of the school, we can indeed see that the whole school was involved in this project. We had windmills, we had projects talking about renewable and non-renewable energy. We also had Sparky and Guzzler featuring on most walls in the school. And here we can see some peer reading which was done between 4th class and junior infants.
So connecting with the wider school community was also very important for us. And as an infant teacher, walking the children out to the gate at home time, it was lovely to hear parents talking about this outside the gate and outside the wall. You could clearly see that this was being discussed at home.
The research on ESD shows that schools need to find expertise outside the community, as the knowledge about sustainability is so wide and varied. Here in Tipperary, we are very lucky to have a very active energy agency, and we reached out to the Tipperary Energy Agency, who provided us with lots of information, and they supported the children in lots of their projects.
One such project was an e-book written by 4th class. Here we have Niall from the Tipperary Energy Agency giving a presentation to 4th class. 4th class had already conducted lots of research at this stage, and here they are taking notes during Niall's presentation. They used all of this research to compile an e-book using Book Creator. And here are the pupils working on their e-books.
This is the children's final e-book. This is a great example of action competence, as the children decided themselves that they wanted to make a book and that they wanted to teach others about energy. I found it was very empowering for the children, and we shared the book on all our social media platforms and on our school website, and the children got very, very positive feedback from the community.
So a great positive that I found from this initiative is being that it has brought the whole school together. At a time when we are so segregated and separated, every single child in the school was working on one common book. It has given great stewardship and guardianship of our environment and climate, and it has both inspired and awakened a need for change, the children's ability to create change, and a sense of urgency in bringing about that change.
As a teacher of 1st class, I love how the book enabled deep discussion on sustainability. It also gave us a purpose for meaningful scientific investigation, such as our experiment on insulation.
The best part for me was that the children were empowered to take action, and I loved the way the characters in the book showed the children that there's many ways to take action, and that each of them could use their own talents to engage in projects and to make a change.
My favourite part was when Max Seiton's house exploded. Burning fossil fuels heats up the environment and causes climate. My favourite part was when Max Siphon fell off the wind turbine and never knew how much wind could be turned into energy.
My favourite part was when Max Siphon's house exploded. Using fossil fuels is bad for the environment. So yeah.
My favourite part was when Max Siphon was talking to the class at the wind farm, because it was funny. It's important to make small positive changes to help the environment.